We're going to talk about a simple type of video that you can create that people don't feel like they're being sold to. In fact, I'm going to show you how to generate referral quality leads. And actually I have an example for you. I've got a client that's in the travel business, so I'm going to share the strategy that we're using with that channel. And by the end of this video, you'll have a plan that 4 months from now, you'll actually dominate YouTube. So this is realistic, it's tactical, it's predictable. Let's dive right in. I've been a YouTube producer for about 11 years, producing over 50 different channels currently that all leverage the same strategy. And I've got a brand new client, Lugos Travel, that we are implementing this strategy in the travel space. So here's what their channel looks like now. Now what you'll see on their channel currently is the type of content that most people think. It's like, well, what's something that I can talk about? What's something that would be really helpful? And that's all good, but you'll look at the views. This one has 42 views. This one has no views from 10 months ago, no views. This one has 28 views. So what I'm helping them with and what I'm going to show you how to do is how to create videos that have a built-in audience. So when you make this specific type of video, you post it on YouTube and it will get more and more videos over time, and it will actually be a lead generator for your business. So let's dive into the strategy. There are actually 5 ingredients. The first ingredient's like super important, so I'm going to spend some time on that, but I'm going to share with you all 5 ingredients so you know the formula of how to leverage YouTube to generate leads for your travel business. So ingredient number 1, I call leaf titles. And so that you understand what I'm talking about there, let me share with you my tree analogy. So most trees look like this. We have a broad trunk that goes out to the branches, that goes out to the leaves. Now the trunk represents your core area of expertise. In your case, it might be travel, okay? Then the branches are all the different categories you have expertise in. The leaves represent the questions, the very, very specific questions that your target audience is asking. So for this example, I'm going to pretend you're an expert in productivity, okay? So that's the trunk of the tree. What would be an example of a leaf? And don't worry, I'm going to show you some examples of leaves that relate to you in the travel business. So for productivity, what can increase productivity in a dental office? Isn't that specific? And the cool thing is, I didn't make up that phrase. I didn't just try and think of something really obscure and specific, but I actually did keyword research, and I found that this is a question that has consistent search volume every single month on Google and YouTube. Here's another one. How to improve productivity on a construction site. It's worded slightly different, and it obviously talks about the construction business. Another one that I found that has consistent search volume. So the goal is, I wouldn't want to make broad general videos about improving productivity or even branch category topics, but I want to go very, very specific like these 2 examples. And here's what happens when you do this. Let's say somebody on the dental team goes to Google or YouTube, they type in this question, and then your video pops up and they're like, oh, that's exactly what I was searching for. So they actually watch that video all the way to the end, and that tells the YouTube algorithm this is a valuable video for this person. And then as more and more people do that are typing in this question, YouTube learns who the audience is for this video. And over time, you get more and more views. But think about how targeted this is. This would target your audience. So now I'm going to show you the tool that I use to do this, and I'm going to apply it to the travel industry. Okay, so this is the keyword magic tool, and you can actually get a free trial of this tool. It's at herokeywordtool.com. Let me demonstrate. And I'm just going to pick something kind of extreme in travel. Let's say you help people go to Everest Base Camp. Okay, I'll just show you. This will give you a great example. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to turn on the questions button because I just want to find the questions, those leaves. And there's actually a lot here. There's some really cool filters. I often turn on the word count filter. Let's just see what happens when we go to 8. I commonly start at 8. All right, so let's look at some of these questions here. Is Everest Base Camp the top of Everest? How high is base camp of Mount Everest? How long is the hike? How do you get to the base camp, right? So there's all these questions, and some of these are going to be repetitive. So these 2 are the same. How do you get to Mount Everest Base Camp, and how do you get to Everest Base Camp? So I would just grab one of those. I check the boxes. I can hit copy and take them over to my Google spreadsheet. So I recommend just playing around with this tool. You can do that free trial. And again, it was herokeywordtool.com. And you can find some of the questions that relate to you. Okay, so let's go back to the 5 ingredients. Ingredient number 1 is the leaf strategy. You have to find these questions or these leaf titles, okay? So ingredient number 2 is you want the episode length to be around 10 to 12 minutes. You don't want to create shorts. You don't want to focus on like TikTok or short type content. That type of content is great for nurturing your tribe. So whether you use Instagram or any other social media, keep doing what is working to nurture your existing audience. But this leaf strategy is going to help you pull in people who've never heard of you before. And we need time in this episode to build a relationship. So having an episode that's 10 to 12 minutes in length on average is ideal for that. So average means if you have an episode that's 7 minutes long and another one that's say 15 minutes long, well then your average is somewhere around 10 or 12 minutes. Ingredient number 3 is you want a good average retention, 50% or higher. So if you've got this 10-minute episode, some people are going to start watching and then leave immediately, but there's others that are going to watch all the way to the end. I mean, if they find you by that really specific search, it's likely that they are going to watch all the way to the end. That's one of the reasons why this strategy works so well. So YouTube will tell you the stats. And so if your stats or your averages are 50% or higher, YouTube is a lot more likely to promote that video to more and bigger audiences. Ingredient number 4 is custom thumbnails. Now, thumbnails have become pretty competitive over the years. Let me start just showing you these 2 thumbnails and show you how a subtle difference can actually make a big difference. Now, this is Paul Jenkins. He's a positivity psychologist. He's also a parenting expert. Notice the top thumbnail that had the red color on the text and the bottom one had blue. If you look up at the top, 6.6% for the original and 8.3% for that blue variation. Just by changing the color, we increased the click-through rate, the percentage of people that would click on it. So it's crazy. That's why we go into so much effort to make custom thumbnails. So notice these 6 thumbnails here. This is Chad Littlefield, and this is for one episode. We created 6 different thumbnail ideas so that we could compare them side by side and choose the one that was going to get the most attention, and that we can test and see which ones will get the highest click-through rate. Here's another example. This is Chris Miles. He's a financial expert, and we designed 6 thumbnails for one of his episodes. We do that for every single episode. We design multiple thumbnails like this so we can put in a lot of creativity, but hopefully find a thumbnail that will have a really high click-through rate. So that was ingredient 4, having custom designed thumbnails. Now, ingredient number 5 is, guess what? You've got to launch 5 episodes per week. Now, it's a lot more realistic than you think. I'm actually recording 20 episodes. Yep, for the Nate Woodbury channel. Just today, I'm recording 20 episodes in a single day. So if I'm launching 5 episodes a week, that means I only have to record once every 4 weeks. Now, why do we put out so much content? Well, every episode brings in that ideal, that targeted audience, but each episode just bringing in a trickle of traffic. And we're typically able to dominate YouTube, and more specifically, when you learn more about my leaf strategy, we're able to dominate an entire branch on YouTube in about 4 months if we go this aggressive. Now, the good news is, if you want to start more gradually at first and work your way up to that, that's just fine. If you filmed 20 episodes in a day, but launched just 1 episode per week, that's going to last you 20 weeks. And I have many clients that start there, and then over time, they increase to 2 episodes a week and then to 5. Now, if you launch 5 episodes per week for an entire year, what can you expect with that? Well, it's very common to generate an additional 7 figures in your business just from YouTube leads after you follow this strategy for a year. I've done that with many YouTube channels. In fact, a couple of them generate 8 figures per year just from YouTube leads. Let me show you one more example of what it looks like to dominate YouTube. What do I mean when I say dominate YouTube? So if I come back here to YouTube and I come up to the search bar and I type in how to become a construction project manager, let's see what comes up when I hit enter. All right, look at this, Jason Schroeder. That's a channel that I produce. He's got some thumbnails on the wall behind me. There's one of him right there. Let me show you another example. I'll just come up here to the search bar and put in what is a short sale versus foreclosure. If I hit return on that, oh, wouldn't you know, the short sale queen, that's Nicole Espinosa, and she's at the top of YouTube. That's what I call dominating YouTube. So just like I recommended for you that you keep your videos to 10 to 12 minutes, that was my goal for this episode. And there's only so much I can share, but there's a lot more that I want to give to you. So I've created a mini course. Now this mini course costs 17 bucks. It's called the YouTube Lead Gen Blueprint. And the 5 ingredients that I've taught you in this episode, I go into a lot of detail, taking you behind the scenes and holding you by the hand so that by the end of this course, you'll be able to achieve these same results on your YouTube channel. So if you go to youtubeleadgen.net, you'll find the course called YouTube Lead Gen Blueprint. I'll see you there.